What's good, YouTube? It's your boy iiEyeQ coming at you with the top 5 iiEyeQ tips and tricks for Call of Duty Warzone. You want to win, you're getting so close, and you just need that little edge, and that's how you found my video. Well, you came to the right place, because I can guarantee you wins. But no, seriously, these 5 tips I put together will definitely give you the edge you're looking for. Like, they just complement each other so well, and they're just gonna give you that advantage you need to get that victory. So with that being said, I'm gonna jump straight into it here with my first tip, and that is knowing what perks are necessary and unnecessary to give you that best loadout possible. Now, perks are to each its own. You know, I feel like they go with your playstyle. You pick them based on how you play. But there are some perks that I believe you definitely should have on, and some perks I believe are definitely not worth it at all. So I'll start with those. The first unnecessary perk I have on my list, Quick Fix. If you read Quick Fix, it says killing players immediately starts health regeneration. Capturing and holding objectives increases your health regeneration rate. This is pointless to me because the only time you're capturing an objective in Warzone is if you're doing a recon contract, and your life is most likely full if you're going to do that, so you don't need the health regeneration. And killing players and immediately starting your health regeneration, you still need to armor plate, so your health going up isn't going to help you from getting shot in one tap without armor plating up anyway. So it's just not needed in my eyes. The next unnecessary perk I have on my list, the Scavenger perk. Reading this perk, it says resupply ammo from dead players. This is Warzone. All their loot falls on the ground. You're going to resupply anyway. This perk is absolutely unnecessary, not needed. Don't even waste your time putting it on. I would honestly say this is the most unnecessary perk on the list. And on this list, I also have the Shrapnel perk. Reading this, it says spawn with an extra piece of lethal equipment. Explosive damage delays enemy health regeneration. So once again, guys, this is Warzone. You don't spawn with any lethal equipment, so that off the rip, not needed. It can be helpful when you grab your loadout, you have 2 pieces of lethal equipment, but you could also find an extra piece of lethal equipment and it lets you carry 2 just from being in Warzone anyway. And if you're like me and hit multiple loadouts, once you hit your other loadout, if you haven't used your first lethal equipment, you're going to get a second one as well. So it definitely fits that unnecessary category. Going on to the next perk, this perk is kind of in between for me. It's kind of necessary and unnecessary, that's why I'm putting it right here. And that perk is Overkill. Now reading Overkill, it says carry 2 primary weapons, which is great. It means you can carry a sniper and an assault rifle, or an assault rifle and an SMG, or SMG and shotgun, a bunch of different possibilities. But this is Warzone. You can easily pick up 2 primary weapons anyway, as you can see me doing right here in this clip with this common MP7 and this common shotgun. But I would suggest subbing it out for a different perk later on in the game, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. So that's all I have for unnecessary perks. I'm going to go straight into the necessary perks, the perks you absolutely must have in my opinion. Starting off with Cold-Blooded. Reading Cold-Blooded, it says undetectable by AI targeting systems and thermal optics. Does not trigger high alert warning. So automatically you can kind of tell how this one is useful, because 98% of the people playing this game use thermal optics. So not being highlighted on that thermal optic, like this guy right here, if he would have watched this video, he would have known better, but it's just a plus. And also not triggering people's high alert if they have that perk activated is so useful. It's just an all-around great perk to have, and I definitely believe it's a necessity in this game. And that brings me to my last perk, also a necessity in this game, Ghost. Now reading Ghost, it says undetectable by UAVs, radar drones, and heartbeat sensors. I cannot tell you how many times a game I've seen somebody pop up on the heartbeat sensor, or I've heard enemy UAV inbound, enemy UAV on standby, and it didn't matter to me because I'm running Ghost. They cannot see me on their radar. This is the perfect perk for Warzone in my opinion. One that will get you closer and closer to that victory without even being seen. So that wraps it up for my first tip, which is like 6 tips in one. 6 tips in one. But I promise, it helps. Moving on to the next tip I have for you guys, which is the useful equipment that's in Warzone and different ways you can use them. Being that there's so many different items in Warzone. I'm not going to be going over all of them, but I'm going to be going over the ones I think are really cool. And not only are they cool, they definitely help. The first piece of useful equipment I recommend picking up as you loot is a trophy system. What a trophy system allows you to do is to destroy up to 3 nearby pieces of equipment or projectiles. So that means bombs, rockets, C4, those things start to get thrown at you while you have a trophy system down, they will get destroyed. But another useful way you can use this trophy system is to throw it on a vehicle as you're driving, so that way people can't hit you with C4s and rockets as you drive. This is a very, very smart way to use the trophy system, and one of the reasons I highly recommend picking this item up. Another useful piece of equipment I have on my list is the recon drone. Now what a recon drone is, it's a remote control drone that marks enemies. You can use it, fly around, ping people as you go along, ping loot as well. So this is definitely a useful item already. You know, you can kind of watch your surroundings, kind of have that third eye in the sky. But another way you can use that third eye is to throw a piece of C4 on it before you let it go. You know, that way when you actually see somebody, you can just drive it up to them and boom. Now granted, this actually might not kill them, but it's definitely cracking armor. So I definitely suggest members of the team push forward towards the enemy that you guys are going towards to guarantee that cleanup. The last piece of useful equipment I have on my list is using a self-revive. Now self-revive is pretty self-explanatory, helps you revive yourself after being knocked by someone.
Granted, the person who knocks you isn't a thirsty bastard,
but for the video's sake, they aren't. I cannot tell you how many clips I actually have of me clutching a game because of this item, but I can show you a few, so take notes. So yeah, self-revive, it speaks for itself. Highly recommend you grabbing one every game for 4,500 at the buy station. That wraps up useful equipment. Moving on to my next tip, which is using the Merc thermal scope on your sniper instead of one of those long range power scopes. Having a sniper in this game just gives you that ultimate edge. You know, you could just kill people from wherever, whenever. But the bad thing about sniping is, especially when using these high powered scopes, people can see where you're at. I mean, it gives away your location due to that flash when they aim at you. Using the Merc thermal will definitely prevent that, and you'll definitely get to have that advantage over the people who aren't running cold-blooded, as we talked about earlier. I have wiped out a countless amount of squads due to this because they just have no idea where I'm shooting them from. It does have a lower magnification than the other high power scopes, which go from 5 and above. It does have like a 3.25, but it definitely is still usable. I promise you. I mean, you can see it. It's great. I love it. The next tip I have for you guys is knowing how to time the loadout drops that come for free. There are actually 2 free loadouts during your game of Warzone. One of them falls like 14 seconds when the first circle is about to close, and the second one falls 10 seconds right after the gulag closes. Knowing this can be very useful in many ways. Due to the fact that I like to run overkill on my first loadout class, I'm literally waiting for the next one to fall so I can go ahead and grab another class with Ghost on it and still have both of my guns, as I mentioned earlier. This can be very useful, so knowing when that loadout's gonna fall can just make it that much more efficient for you getting this done. And even if you don't need to grab 2 loadouts, you know, you just want one. Knowing when they're gonna fall can save you $10,000 every single time. You know, you could just save that money, use it towards your self-revive or your kill streaks, whatever you want to do. That brings us to the last and final tip I have for you guys, and this one I believe is the most important, and that is having at least one class with fully loaded on your gun. I don't think I can stress how important this is, how useful this is. How many times have you made it back from the gulag or been brought back by a friend, and the first thing you do is run to your loadout drop because you want to get straight back into the fight? But when you grab that loadout, if you don't have fully loaded on one of your classes, you're not really ready for a fight because you have no ammo besides the one clip you start with, and that's barely enough to knock one person, so let alone a whole team coming at you. You're done. It was just a waste to even fall and grab your loadout, especially during in-game situations. How many times have you made it back and nobody on your team is left alive but you, but there's a loadout drop you can grab? This will just be so helpful for you. You can grab that loadout, get that full ammo, and just be ready, you know, get back into the game, be fully prepared for anything coming your way. And I'm not saying, you know, just go crazy and have this on all your classes. I'm just saying have that one class out of 10, they give you 10, have that one class with fully loaded on. I even recommend renaming naming the class fully loaded, so that way you know I don't have no ammo. I'm grabbing this class right now. Such a helpful thing to have on, and a lot of people don't do it, and I just don't understand why. You have 10 classes, you have the space, like, come on. And that, guys, was my top 5 high IQ tips and tricks for Call of Duty Warzone. I hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment down below if you have any questions about anything that I stated. I will be happy to hear from you guys. I want to give a huge shout out to my day one Sheen Clough for letting me use his music as the background for this video. You know, that man drops nothing but fire. So if you were tuned in, you were hearing the songs as I was going along, I definitely recommend you going to check the kid out. The link to all those songs will be in the description box below, along with his YouTube channel as well. Also below, that subscribe button. If you haven't, now's the time. Hit that, smash that, and smash that like button too, guys. Trying to get this video to about 10,000 likes off the rip. I know y'all got it in y'all. It's your boy iiEyeQ with iiEyeQ Gaming, and I'm out.
Bought me some new ice, doubled up my price, doubled up my price.